Welcome to the Master Debaters, chumps. This is the show where we solve pop culture's problems, one outrage at a time. I'm Abe, and joining me are three other guys that are going to let people know outside of the family what they're thinking. First up, it's the Santino of movies and stuff. It's my man, Dan.
Very true. Very, very true there. And I do believe I'm going to be murdered in the same way.
On the turnpike?
Yeah. Toll booth, makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
Dead.
Second up, it's the Luca Brasi of our channel, Marty.
I'll take that. I was thinking you're gonna say Fredo, so I'll take Luca.
Okay, you're Luca. And may your first child, Marty, be a masculine child. All right. And finally, it's our guest this week. Jack, just real quick, have you seen The Godfather yet?
As long as you didn't call me Fredo, yeah, I've seen The Godfather. I really thought you were going to do Fredo on me.
Oh, okay. Well, it's the Fredo of our channel, DJ Jack Random. Jack, you can say a Hail Mary while you're fishing. It helps you catch the fish.
I'm not going fishing. Fuck fishing. I'm not doing it. Not on the boat. I'll fish off the pier.
All right, there you go. All right, wise guys, this is a debate show, as you know. I'm going to throw out 3 topics. I'm going to give each of you 60 seconds to make your points, and then bada bing, I'm cutting you off. Let's get into it. Let's get into topic 1.
Inappropriate. So inappropriate.
The Justice League trailer came out today. Or not today. When was it? It came out the other day. Was it Friday?
Saturday.
Yeah. That's right. Want to know, what are your reactions to the Justice League trailer? And Sonny, we're starting with you.
It's good. It started to bring down some of the fears that I'd been having, but then those fears started coming back up again when I realized that they're good at making trailers. They're good at putting stuff together. They get these little clips and they put it together. What I want them to do is stop. That's the only trailer I want to see. I don't want to see any more footage. That was enough. I don't want them to BVS this, because if what's going to happen is they're going to get to a point. It's like, well, here's Superman in the trailer. Shocker, Superman's back. Here's a picture of him in the trailer. They've been doing a good job of hiding it so far, but they're going to get to the point. It's like, let's put him in the trailer, get people excited. Stop it. Stop with the trailers. Overall, it looked good. It looked fun. The Aquaman stuff looked really cool. But then they started going that hokey, jokey Marvel shit between Batman and Aquaman at the end.
Hokey jokey, over to you.
DC's in this weird spot right now where nothing they can do trailer-wise or promotion-wise or any kind of news is going to help them. They can only hurt themselves. And this trailer didn't hurt them. So in that sense, it's a win. It looked kind of fun. There's still the same dark tone-ish to it that the BVS had. Not so much tone, but just the visuals of it. It was all very dark outside in this movie. Like Dan said again, this is really early for this much of a trailer. We're in March, and this movie comes out in November, and they've already given us a almost full teaser and now a full trailer. So how much are they going to show after Wonder Woman? How much are they going to show after a post-scene of Wonder Woman? We'd like to think that, okay, they didn't show us much of the time. They learned their lesson, but now we have 6 more months of them promoting this movie. They're going to show too much again, and we're going to have the same issues. But as of right now, the trailer looked fun, and they're not hurting themselves, so we'll give them a thumbs up.
All right. Jack, show us too much.
Well, it does, but so does the Spider-Man trailer. But I didn't realize it came out in November. Good Lord, that's a long time. This is I guess it's okay. I like that. I don't know how to feel about it. Like Dan said, they put together a wicked trailer, and my only concern is half the shit we see in it. It may not show up in the movie anyway. I mean, that's the way they've been doing it. So you're saying, hell, they might not. Cyborg might not even make the final cut, and he's in all the trailers. And I see what Marty's saying about it throwing in the humor, but it seems forced, or it just doesn't seem. I don't know. I really got a wait and see attitude on this one. Like you guys said before, they've shown us great trailers previously, and the movies don't exactly deliver. So it's a fun trailer. sort of. It's dark. It's the Justice League. It's the Justice League trailer we have.
You say that like so you're cautiously optimistic, Jack? Is that what I'm getting out of you? Or are you just cautious?
Yeah. Just cautious. Just cautious. I mean, I believe the DC cinematic universe is built on a shaky foundation to begin with, so I'm not expecting fantastic shit at any point at this time. I mean, they have to work with what they got.
I don't get why now. All your focus should be on Wonder Woman, which is coming out in June or July, and we're already now showing Wonder Woman in another movie that she's also the focus of. So why aren't we just focused on doing Wonder Woman right, promoting the fuck out of that? I'm sure there'll be a post-credit scene in that movie that'll, leads into Justice League, and then you ramp up the Justice League stuff. We've already seen 2 full trailers for this movie. And it's just, they're going to get to a point where they have nothing else to show, so they're going to show the Superman just like they did last time when they showed us Doomsday at the end, because that was going well too. The trailer before that was really good. People were excited. Then they showed one more where it's like, oh, now that's the whole fucking movie.
It literally was beat for
and they
beat
ruined
the
all the
entire
surprises.
movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the Aquaman stuff looks fun, but then there's no Aquaman movie to look forward to. So, again, it's just they're promoting things, but they're also pointing out their own weaknesses at the same time.
Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah, honestly, it looks nice.
Well, Snyder was going to make it look nice for sure.
That's what Snyder does.
There's nothing in there that is screaming that I have to go see this. And I am a fan of BVS, and I saw it twice in the theaters, and I defend it, and I like Man of Steel for the most part. There's some stuff in Man of Steel that I'm not into, but for the most part, I like Man of Steel. But Suicide Squad left a really awful taste in my mouth, and I'm getting more of a Suicide Squad vibe from this than I'm getting a BVS or a Man of Steel. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just feeling really burnt by Suicide Squad, but I'm worried about Justice League. This kind of settled some of my fears, but even so, it wasn't enough to make me say, okay. And then Marty hit the nail on the head. November, and you have a Wonder Woman movie coming out, and they should be doing full onslaught of promoting that, and to take any attention away from that just to show a movie where she's also in it is kind of silly.
It is weird.
And it makes you think they're not as confident in Wonder Woman.
They're not confident in anything, are they?
Yeah.
If they were confident, they wouldn't be throwing out a trailer this early.
Everything they do is reactionary. And I don't know if they heard that Spider-Man's coming out with a trailer this week. Let's get in front of them and put out our trailer. But
I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe that makes sense.
It does. All right. I think we killed that. We're going to probably dissect that movie a lot more between now and November. All right, let's get into topic 2. The Godfather turned 45 last week. So, simply put, I want to know what your favorite mafia movie is. And Marty, we're going over to you.
I really wanted to find a way to make it to Departed just to be a dick. But I would say original Godfather. A lot of people say Godfather 2 is better. I think as a mafia movie, Godfather 1 is better because that deals a lot more with the mafia as itself. 2 is a lot of political stuff, a lot of family stuff, a lot of business shit thrown in. Part 1, James Caan, Marlon Brando, a younger Al Pacino. You don't have the De Niro in it that you get in 2, but it's still, I think Brando and Caan outweigh him. You get a lot of the wars of the old New York families. A lot of just, it's just, I'm not going out on a limb here saying Godfather 1 is the best mafia movie of all time. I know that. But I just think it's just perfect. And it's great acting, great direction, of course, great story writing, great storytelling. It's just, I think it's better than 2 slightly.
Gotcha. That's your hot take. Good job, Marty.
Hot take. Godfather, good movie.
Controversial.
Go ahead, Jack.
Fuck's on you, Jack.
Oh, it's on me?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, it's a good thing I don't have a whole lot to say. My favorite mafia movie would have to be Goodfellas. When I was in the Navy, one of the things we used to do on a long deployment, after a long deployment, we just hit the closest movie theater once we got back and just see whatever the hell was there. And there was this movie called Goodfellas. And the only thing we knew was the name on the marquee. We walked in, and Pesci started stabbing that motherfucker in the trunk, and I was in. That was the best, most pleasant surprise I could have had that night. Everything is great about that movie. It has Pesci, De Niro, Liotta. It's a fun movie, and then it's based on a true story, which caused me to go out and buy the book it's based on, and found out that Henry Hill was still alive and a real dude. And fascinating movie. Great linear story, beginning, middle, end. Great movie. That's it.
Alrighty, let's go, Dan.
Yeah, my pick was going to be Goodfellas as well. I think overall it's the best mafia film. I think it explores the great elements of it and what we're familiar with, and it's a little bit more recent to our times that we could relate to. That said, since Jack picked it, I'm going to pick another movie, and to argue Marty, I think Godfather Part 2 is better than Godfather Part 1, but that's still not the movie I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick The Untouchables. All right, and it's kind of a not really a mafia movie, but it centers around fighting organized crime and a different take on it. Goodfellas would be my top choice, but I think The Untouchables is highly underrated film. I think everyone should go back and watch it. Fantastic movie, great performances, really fun, focusing on battling the mafia instead of actually being the mafia.
I wouldn't have ever thought Untouchables. It never even would have jumped into my top 10, I don't think.
I was surprised.
It's a great film.
Yeah, and it's one of the all-time famous gangsters in American history, really.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really have a great movie, Capone.
No.
There's been no real great storytelling there. He's been in like pieces of things, but never really.
And I think it's probably the best, from what I can recall, the best rendition of him was in Untouchables. And
we got a young version of him in Boardwalk Empire.
Right.
Yeah.
That was good. But yeah, there's really been no great Capone movie.
Yeah. We should get on that.
We've had like five fucking Gotti movies that no one wanted.
Yeah. No, as I mentioned, Goodfellas was going to be my pick. I really do think start to finish it really encaptures what I imagine of being a great mob movie. I love Casino too. I think Casino's
I think they kind of cancel each other out. That's why I would have went Godfather.
Yeah, I saw Godfather Part 2. They did like the summer. They do like the summer releases, classic summer releases at the AMC 25 in New York, and I got to see Godfather Part 2 on the big screen, and it was just fantastic to watch that.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Have you seen the full version they do on HBO now, where it's like just the 6-hour epic, where they do it like in timeline? Yeah.
I have it DVR'd, and I fall asleep on it like once a week.
I whenever it's on, I'll just pick it up and watch like a half hour. Something you always find something new somehow. They throw in a deleted scene that's really cool. Yeah. Well, again, another hot take. Goodfellas. Godfather.
I know this one's kind of shooting fish.
Always good to watch.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Goodfellas.
So,
Godfather.
IAB's in the chat saying that Capone with Ben Gazzara is a great flick. He's saying.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I can't say I've heard of that one.
Yeah,
one of my favorite.
He's also saying Mickey Blue Eyes.
Oh.
James Caan did a bunch of shit movies too.
What I think is a slept-on gangster flick, and if not necessarily a mob flick, is King of New York. That just holds a very special place in my heart, mainly because of the over-the-top, ridiculous violence, and the fact that it's Frank White leading a mob of black guys. It's really, really bizarre.
Yeah, that's our good friend Abel Ferrara directed that one.
Yes,
he did.
Yeah, so I guess we're talking about the question was mafia. I guess that's why you couldn't say like gangs in New York.
That's why I just brought it in there. It's a gangster movie. Yeah.
I can't control you now, Marty. It's live. You can say whatever you want.
No, I'm just thinking the difference between mob and mafia, and there's mob is kind of a fun little discrepancy, I guess.
Yeah.
No, Once Upon a Time in America.
Mafia means Italian.
Classic movie.
That's a great movie too.
But man, just committing to the 4 hours and change it takes to watch it. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's a mean one.
Let's see. Yeah, I think we covered the big ones. Let's move on to topic 3. All right. Dave Chappelle made his much anticipated return to stand-up with his newest Netflix special. However, not everyone was pleased. Dave caused outrage for his problematic material. That material drew the ire of the LGBTQ plus community, and for some material taking heat from feminists for some rape jokes. And they kept saying there needs to be a conversation about what is funny and what is offensive. So I'm going to ask you guys, does there need to be a conversation between what is funny and what is offensive? Jack, let's go.
No. Oh, okay. No. Funny is subjective, first of all. If you don't find something funny, just shrug your shoulders and keep it fucking moving. I am a little tired of people being outraged over this dumb shit, especially when the outrage is about something that is intended to be outrageous out of the gate. This isn't a Brian Regan stand-up. This isn't Jim Gaffigan. This is Dave motherfucking Chappelle, and he hasn't changed his act. Well, he's changed his jokes, but it's the same storytelling, thoughtful, long-form joke telling that he's famous for, and it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And I don't think you should go to a comedy show to seek validation for whatever particular flag you're flying that day. That's just fucking ridiculous. I think a lot of people gloss over. I think they just cherry pick words. They cherry pick words that bothered them and ignore the overarching story that he was telling. That's my time. Thank you.
Daniel?
It's a tough one for me because I want to agree with Jack, and my timer isn't going, so I'll just pretend that it's going. I want to agree with Jack with the whole concept that if it's not your type of humor, if it's not funny to you, just kind of disregard it or ignore it. But I think there's a danger in that. I do think there needs. I don't think there has to be a conversation about it, but I think there needs to be continuous conversation. I think people should have the right to be upset about comedy, but I don't think the comedian has to apologize for it. I think the comedian can say whatever the hell he or she wants to say, deal with the aftermath. If they offend people, they offend people. If that's part of their humor, that's on them. But I don't think us saying it's like, well, you shouldn't be offended or you shouldn't have feelings in regards to this or shouldn't be able to say anything because there's a danger in that, right? There's a huge danger of not keeping that in check where you would have certain comedians taking advantage of that to go on full, more vocal racism or vocal sexism and pushing the envelope to the point where it is bad for society. So continuous conversation, not a conversation.
Martin?
I didn't see the special yet. I haven't seen, I read some of the comments and what the reaction was. I think the bigger issue, but we'll talk about everything else in a second, but the fact that Dave Chappelle is some kind of renowned stand-up, I think is a bit overstated. He had a great TV show. He was huge for a small period of time. He went away, and then somehow he took on this grandiose voice of a generation persona, which I just don't understand. They had like a 45-minute fucking interview with him on CBS this week as if he was, Nelson Mandela or some shit. I just don't take what he says all that important. I think, yes, there's too much censorship, but there's also too many comedians who are bitching relentlessly about how much they're being censored because they can't grow up and they can't change their act and they can't get over the fact that, oh my God, I can't say faggot anymore on screen. You know what? Grow up, change your act. A lot of what I read about Chappelle's anti-gay jokes were just kind of tired, old fucking cliche jokes about gay people, which if you're still doing that in 2017, you should just be, deal with, you could be told to shut up. It's fine.
All right. So this is not my point to make. This is a point somebody else made, but I heard something. I was going to ask, why does a stand-up comedian why do they have to stand behind their material? And we don't admit that it's a public performance, whereas an actor doesn't have to stand behind any material that they do perform.
Because it's a personal thing, yeah.
But we let actors play rapists and monsters, and we don't say anything to them. But if a stand-up comedian makes a rape joke, or comedians and rappers are always forced to stand behind what they say.
I think if an actor played a role where he was a rapist who was a hero somehow, I think he would catch some shit for it. I think most comedians are sometimes get blamed for joking about rape or whatever, and then rapper for glorifying it. I don't think anybody's ever acted in which they were glorifying that act. They were usually someone who's being punished. And again, it's rapping and comedic. You know, people assume that those are people who have written those things. An actor is just using someone else's story or words. So I don't think that's a just comparison.
Well, listen, I mean, these comedians should be able to say whatever they want to say, and but they have to stand behind it. They have to live with it, like, you know. And I don't think that they need to apologize. There's no reason for Chappelle to have to apologize here. If people are offended by what he said, oh well,
that's fine.
Oh well, it's as simple as that. He chose to say these jokes. He thinks that it was funny, part of his routine. He does it again. Fine. Like, people can be offended. Like, let them be offended. It's not going to impact him at all.
Dan, did you see it?
I haven't seen it.
Martin, did you see it?
No, I said I didn't see
it. Not.
Yeah, and I read some of the comments.
Don't you look? I'm going to say this about stand-up comedy, and you can disagree or not. You can't read what somebody else's interpretation of a joke is, ever. You're never going to get it. All you're going to get is their outrage. You need to see it through your own filters or lack thereof. This is the same thing with about 20 years ago, every huge stand-up comedian came out with a book. And each one of those books were pretty much just a transcript of whatever their current stand-up act was. Chris Rock, who had an Emmy-winning stand-up comedy performance, his book is called Rock This. And when you read those jokes, I mean, it's damn near word for word from the comedy special. We read those jokes. It's not funny. He comes off like a really, really angry man. It's all in the delivery. So I really advise you not to take someone's review of jokes. Take that shit to heart. And also to correct you, Dave Chappelle was the funniest motherfucker on the planet stand-up wise before the show. That's how he got the fucking show.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, well.
I've seen your Chris Rock special you talk about. I mean, I don't think he can do that act today. I mean, I grew up loving George Carlin. I'm not some novice who gets offended by shit. But Chappelle was kind of a guy. He wrote, Half Baked. He was a kind of middling actor on SNL. He didn't really break out, and that show was great. Everyone loved that show. I love that show.
He wasn't on SNL.
He had a shot on SNL. He didn't really go anywhere.
No.
If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I do think
I'll accept that apologize now. But well.
But he never had an HBO special. Let me put it like he had like a half-hour special on HBO. He was never a standout comic before that show, unlike a Chris Rock level.
Let me put it like this: he didn't cross over.
Yeah, okay, that's my voice.
He's black famous.
Okay,
and that kind of trumps anything. So.
Well, Marty made an interesting point when he said you can't tell these kinds of jokes anymore. Dan, you said it's pushing the envelope, but it sounds like the envelope is shrinking.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree with you because I mean, I grew up and I loved the Eddie Murphy specials. I was way too young to be watching them. I loved Eddie Murphy. I loved Richard Pryor, right? George Carlin. I loved those comedy specials. And you know what? I'll probably watch the Dave Chappelle one and I'll probably laugh like shit and I'll probably really enjoy it because I like Dave Chappelle. Honestly, like I'm not saying that I'm going to be offended or I will be offended or from what I've heard I'm offended. All I'm saying is people have a right to be offended and interpret, as Jack said, interpret the jokes as they perceive them.
Right. And it's some people on Twitter. No one's picketing the fucking streets or anything. It's just we tend to overreact to Twitter outrage sometimes. Yeah. Whereas there was a couple of stories. No one's pulling the special. No one's saying they're not going to pay him whatever for his next special. I think he has like 2 or 3 more Netflix specials coming out.
No, he does.
So this isn't some. It wasn't some huge story. I don't think. I didn't even know about it. I really didn't know about it.
He ends up changing his act because of it because he shouldn't have to.
But he also have to change. Like George Carlin.
This is a man who walked away from $50 million. He doesn't give a fuck what people say about him.
Yeah,
good.
That's true.
You also have to change with the time too. Sometimes you have to be smart enough to know. And I'm saying soften.
This is something that no one's pointed out. A lot of the problems with this that people are having is about the language, and the language has only really changed. Let's say within the past year or so, as far as getting in trouble over pronouns and bullshit. This shit was recorded 2 years ago.
Which is also a problem. Netflix is trying to buy up all these comedians right now. I'm not sure.
It's cheap.
Yeah, the fact that they're making a big deal. I like another thing that they said Dave Chappelle's coming to Netflix. Like, oh, he's got a new special. I didn't know it was a 2-year ago special. That's not really.
He's been touring. He never really stopped touring. I mean, after he left town. I mean, after he left Hollywood, he stayed low for a hot minute, but he kept touring. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people missed, especially when he's talking about the Bill Cosby jokes, the rape jokes, and he says it in the act. Gays and lesbians and LGBTQ, whatever, they're getting legislation passed, but just because legislation is passed, you haven't changed anybody's mind. That shit takes time. The Civil Rights Act was, forever ago, and somebody just called him, nigger in traffic the other day. So, shit takes time.
Right.
And even with that, like LGBT, there's a new letter now from 2 years ago, basically. So if these are jokes from 2 years ago, we're even further along the line with that now. So that's a good point too, as far as you can't even hold them to that at this point, because even that moves every day now, as far as
the goalposts keep changing.
Yeah, it's very fluid.
Exactly.
Fluid.
All right. That was an
wow, that was really debate. Yeah,
it was a very interesting conversation. Yeah. All right. I guess we're gonna. You guys feel like a bonus topic? We got
let's do it. Let's end on a high note.
Let's go on a fun note for guys.
All right.
Or Jack, yells me.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say. You either agree to star in Batman Forever or you live long enough to become the villain. Spider-Man Homecoming trailer dropped today, and I just want your reactions to that. Dan?
Nope. No, thank you. Not for me. Definitely not for me. I am interested in seeing Michael Keaton. That looks like the most interesting part of this film. Everything else on it, no thanks. When the spider jumps off his chest and goes flying around, wow, that looked lame. That just, a lot of people were like losing their crap when in the Civil War when he closed his eyes and it was like doop, doop, like that. Like, I didn't care about that, but that spider jumping off his chest, it's like that was really bad. And the more that I see of Iron Man and Tony Stark in this, the more worried I get that we're losing a chance to kind of restart the series and give this Spider-Man his own shot by just making it a Marvel film.
Yeah. Marty!
Yeah, I tweeted this out today, that when I tweeted the trailer out, that it's just too much Iron Man, and I don't know if that's just their selling point and maybe it's not as much as we think, or they've signed Robert Downey to all these contracts and he just doesn't want to do an Iron Man movie by himself anymore, so he's just popping into all these other ones. But it's just doesn't look like a Spider-Man movie until, like I said, hopefully we're seeing just the parts with Iron Man so they can kind of sell us with that, and there's a whole other movie there. But it seems like Spider-Man is now an Iron Man creation, which is not from any storyline I've ever seen in Spider-Man. And, it looks like he gets a special suit from Iron Man and then they take it away and then he has to go back to being some kind of, made by his own Spider. It's just, it's very cluttered and very, I'd rather would have seen a Spider-Man 3 with Garfield than to see this kind of Iron Man Spider-Man collaboration that's just feeding into the Marvel universe as opposed to just being a standalone Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I gotcha. Jack, over to you.
Whole lot of Iron Man in this trailer. A lot of people are calling this trailer a trailer for Iron Man 4. My podcast partner Kyle says actually Civil War was Iron Man 4. And it's I think the reason they put so much Iron Man in there, I hope it's not indicative of how much he's going to feature in the film, but I think they're really just trying to solidify his Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, this is just saying he's ours now. He's going to be an Avenger, and they're selling it to the fans who've already bought into Marvel and maybe a little burnt out on a Spider-Man movie with a different person as Spider-Man every few years. I hear you, Dan, about the spider drone or whatever. I'm guessing that's an updated Spider Tracer, because that's like the one thing we haven't seen in any of the Spider movies.
Yeah.
So maybe it's updated spider tracer. Maybe it doesn't fly around a whole lot. Maybe it just goes like one spot and he's able to monitor shit. I'm reaching. I don't know. But we talk about trailers that showed too much. This trailer showed a whole lot of stuff.
It certainly did.
It really did. It really did. I was happy to see that Iron Man finally got his Robin.
Yeah.
Come on.
Go ahead.
No, please.
No. There's a precedent set. In the Ultimate Marvel Universe, in the comics, Nick Fury has kind of taken Spider-Man on under his wing, and there's a whole cartoon series that's been on for like 5 years now, where it's a teenage Spider-Man, and it's pretty much Spider-Man apprentice hero, and he's just teaming up with bigger heroes like Iron Man and Cap week after week after week. So there's precedent set, and for 13 years they ran Marvel Team Up, the comic book, which was Spider-Man teaming up with everybody. So there's precedent set. I don't like Apprentice Spider-Man. No, I don't like him. I don't like Iron Man sidekick, and I'm hoping this doesn't lead to the orange and yellow spider armor that Tony developed for him in the comics. Oh, during the first Civil War.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Tony Stark hired Peter Parker, and Peter Parker became like an apprentice to Tony Stark. So there's a precedent set in the comics. And then he got betrayed, everything went to hell.
After he announced to the whole world, I'm Peter Parker.
On Tony's say-so.
Yeah, right.
So there's that.
Yeah, there's that. Come on, that scene with the ship when he's shooting the webs and trying to hold it together. I mean, I know.
But we've seen that.
I know, it's 13.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2, yeah. The only difference was he didn't make the stupid Maguire face. The only difference.
There's a stupid Maguire face, isn't it? Just Maguire face. Yeah, you have to put the
point
stupid
taken.
Maguire
Point
face
taken.
in
Point
there.
taken. You got me there.
Kind of redundant there. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't entirely, thrown off by the first trailer. I think the little kind of teaser. I didn't mind it as much as some people are kind of trashing it, like that whole with the bank robbery thing. It's like, hey, wait a minute, you're not the Avengers. I actually kind of like that. But seeing more of it, it's just not my type of film. It seems. I'll go see it because we'll do a roundtable on it. I'm sure.
Contractually obligated to see it.
I mean, it's gonna make a shit ton of money. It's gonna be a huge hit. But I mean,
looking at the trailer though, there wasn't anything bad I saw about Michael Keaton. I'm still interested in seeing Michael Keaton. Yeah. It looks like he's gonna be a good villain in it. It looks like they're hopefully gonna give him a worthwhile backstory of some sort.
They're already kind of excusing his behavior in the trailer. Right? Just a few things he said, something about protecting his family and stuff like that. So it's like it's almost making him a Sandman-esque character that they did in that third shitty Spider-Man.
Speaking of, they're already announced they're making a Venom film.
But that's all Sony.
And Life was not the prequel to it. So,
that'd be a good tie-in. But yeah, that's going to be just Sony, so that has nothing to do with Marvel. Yeah. So I'll probably
right. So Iron Man won't be in that.
Yeah, but I don't know if what's his name will be Topher Grace. I'm not sure if he signed on yet.
Oh, let's hope. Let's all hope. Oh boy. So that's
Venom ever.
Yeah, that was just Venom is such a beloved character. The fact that they just threw him into that movie.
I hope they cast Dave Chappelle as Venom.
There you go. Me and Jack can fight about that.
All right, that is the high note. We're not going any better than that. Let's wrap this up. This wasn't the episode of the Master Debaters. We'll be back in 4 weeks to do another one of these. Next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we're doing a roundtable of Ghost in the Shell. In the Shell.
Ghost in a Shell.
Ghost. Yeah. How do you get to Ghost Shell Beach?
Ghost in the Shell.
I love
it.
And Amanda's going to be swinging by. Yeah. I don't know.
Amanda's making a return to the show. She hasn't been on. I don't think this year.
No, she hasn't. No, she's been on this year. No, I guess not.
No, I think last time she was on the Christmas special.
We haven't watched enough shitty movies to get her on.
Oh, no, we have. She's just avoided us like the plague. She's smart.
Yeah.
She's very smart.
Yep. So, Jack, what's been going on in your neck of the woods? What are you up to?
He's got a new show. He's got a new He just reported it.
We recorded a show last night for the Jack Random show on the Jack Random podcast on the Supernauts Network, supernauts.com. It should be up probably Thursday. We went really long. We talked the Dave Chappelle nonsense. Then we talked Iron Fist nonsense. And we talked Justice League trailer nonsense. And The Spider-Man trailer wasn't out yet, so we avoided that pitfall. But I have two nerds on my show who talked a lot about the new Nintendo Zelda game.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ. So you can listen to that shit on Thursday.
Are you cutting it? You said it was over 2 hours, right? Are you cutting any of it?
I
Just let it go. Just let it go.
A good friend of mine, John Elliott, who also does a podcast, he said, unless they're paying for it, just run that fucking 2 hours.
This is why we go. This is why we go live.
Yeah.
The editing's for nerds.
We got sick of editing. We're like, that's what you say is what you get.
Yep.
I haven't decided yet. I might just run that fucker and add some bells and whistles, some musical cues, and let it run.
Hell yeah. You totally should.
I just assume people have better things to do than listen to me for 2 hours.
I don't. I'll be honest. All right, so that is it. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. If you could give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, it doesn't matter according to the YouTube algorithm. Doesn't matter to us. Reactions are reactions. And if you haven't, subscribe to this. So when we're running like 15 minutes late, you'll still get that push alert. All right, guys. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too.
Good night, guys.
Bye. I did. Thanks, guys.
Bye.